Hello, my name is Caleb Thompson, and for my project I chose Badlands National Park. I have been to Badlands National Park actually, and I really enjoyed my visit there. And I hope you will eventually get the need to go to Badlands National Park after seeing this presentation for yourself. To begin with, let's go to topography. Badlands National Park is located in South Dakota, spanning an area of roughly 243,000 acres. The uneven terrain covers an elevation from about 2,200 feet to almost 3,600 feet. Within the park are several streams that ultimately flow into the White River. There is the Badlands Wall, located on the northern boundary of the park, grasslands as well as canyons and gullies. Now let's go to the part 2. Badlands National Park formed because of erosion and deposition. Sedimentary rocks stacked on top of each other over millions of years, forming the layers that define the terrain. Water erosion cut through these rocks, forming channels and ridges. Now let's go into stream flow. Creeks such as Cane Creek flow southward from higher to lower elevations in the Badlands National Park. These creeks eventually flow into White River that ultimately empties into the Mississippi River, and finally the Gulf of Mexico. Rivers flow this direction because Badlands National Park is located east of the Continental Divide. Now let's go into river data. Early in the year, White River is frozen and there is no discharge. Around April, the river starts to thaw, and the discharge fluctuates throughout the rest of the year. White River is impaired in boating and swimming conditions because it is not compliant with the Clean Water Act. Bacteria and microbes are present in the river, causing damage to fish and wildlife as well as potentially humans. Better waste disposal methods are necessary to fix this situation. Now let's go into geological hazards. Water erosion is one of the biggest geological hazards that Badlands National Park experiences. It may occur due to flash flooding caused by rainfall or melting ice and snow. The erosion would eventually change the landscape and could destroy the buttes and spires that the park is famous for. Some other geological hazards include extreme weather and drought. The average rainfall for Badlands National Park is less than 16 inches per year. That is really low rainfall. Temperatures can range from well below freezing in the winter months to the 90s in the summer months. Now let's go into time travel. Badlands National Park is famous for the fossils that are excavated each year. Fossils formed during the Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era between 66 and 145 million years ago. Badlands National Park is made of layered sedimentary rock that is primarily Pierre shale, which is a good source of fossils. Part 2. Fossils found in Badlands National Park range from ancient hippos, camels, ankylosaurus, crocodiles, and horses, otherwise known as echis. When the fossils formed, the terrain at Badlands National Park was vastly different than it is today. The area was covered in a swamp and had deep forest vegetation. The continent at this time was still part of the supercontinent Pangaea. The human influence is the next topic. Badlands National Park attracts approximately 1.2 million people to this area each year. With this influx of people comes problems associated with increases in population. Some of these problems are pollution and habitat destruction. Pollution can be in the form of air, water, or land. Sources of water are limited, causing problems for wildlife and aquatic life. The increase in population causes more new roads to be maintained and new buildings to be constructed for this increase. Since Badlands is a national park, wildlife is protected within the barriers of the park. However, this does not necessarily carry over to just outside the park. In conclusion, and some other pictures that I have from the visit that I went to in 2013. This trip was a part of a whirlwind trip through several national parks, including Yellowstone, Grand Teton, Zion, and Grand Canyon. It was one of my favorite childhood memories. While there are many issues facing the National Park Service caused from travelers, some of these areas are better protected than they might have been without the benefits of the park. And without the influence of the education provided by trips to these parks, people might be even less worried about conservation. The good must be weighed against the bad. Here are my references. Thank you for listening to my time of Badlands National Park, and hopefully one day you might too experience this phenomenal national park.